Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning, everyone. It's Taco Tuesday in some places in this world. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Rosie. Good morning, Fred.
Morning.
Morning, guys.
So it's Tuesday. The Bears are still in first, and the Packers still suck. All is good.
and Caleb Williams can only beat Willis.
Oh, there we go. Well,
He can't beat him with Jordan Love. He never beat Jordan.
Well, he didn't have to because the Bears defense knocked that fairy out.
Oh, so what you're saying, it was a bounty gate, so we should look into him, seeing as how you.
No, I think you saw the play. It was a perfectly legal, clean play, but they took Willis out too. Apparently,
Wait, hold on a
two
second.
down, baby.
Didn't Love play in Week 18 last year?
He only played for like a quarter or maybe
What you're
partway
saying
in the
is that
second.
Love is incapable of playing a full game against the Bears when it matters.
No, I'm pretty sure he's played full games against the Bears and kicked their ass. And I mean,
Dude, I love seeing
talk
Packers
matters.
fans cope this week. This is great. This is great.
Does it remind you of Bear? Does it remind you of Bear fans coping like the past 10 years?
Well, no, not really, because like you guys might not have Willis this week. You know what I mean? So it's like shout out Montez Sweat for power slamming him on his shoulder last play of regulation.
Jordan Love is already practicing, so he's probably playing.
Yeah, but that just because they're practicing doesn't mean they've been cleared from the protocol.
I was going to say it's a very good. It's a very good sign.
This player was practicing, but didn't get cleared the entire season.
Yeah, but he's had concussion issues most of his career.
Concussion. Yeah.
How bad of a concussion was it?
It was bad enough where he had to be out the rest of the season and retrain himself on how to play the game. I mean, that's the thing with concussion. I wish Gabe Valiant, I wish we could get her back on, but after she lost her bid to be Congresswoman of my district, she kind of abandoned her ex account. Okay. But I mean, she would probably tell you this. All right. I'm making an assumption here a little bit, but it doesn't matter how many times you've had a concussion. Like, it only takes one. Like, yes, the more concussions you have, progressively, the worse they can get. But it's not to say that you can't get a concussion and be out 3, 4, 5 weeks from your first concussion. Where some guys seem to get a concussion every week and then they pass it and they're right. Everyone's built a little different, right? So, I mean, it's not to say that he won't be back this Sunday, but there is a possibility he's not back. And then, Fred,
Man, Kansas City sure having an awful time the past week or so. You lose Patrick Mahomes to an ACL, Minshew to an ACL, and your team's moving to the other state.
Wait, what now?
You didn't hear? Kansas City is moving out of Kansas City, Missouri, and moving into Kansas. They're building a $4 billion stadium.
Oh, on the other side of the
Yep.
Seems to be a common theme.
Mm-hmm. Gary Bears, here we go.
I hope it happens, man.
I'm looking to see if there's no Jordan Love updates on him as far as like passing concussion protocol, but he's still on the injury list. So, yeah, I tell you what, he could be out, dude. He could be out this week, or he could be back. I mean, it's not uncommon, but I wouldn't bet the farm on him being back this week. I would. You got to kind of wait and see. I mean, it's Monday. What practice did they do yesterday? They normally don't practice on Monday.
Ooh, we had an early practice because we play Saturday again. We're going from Saturday to Saturday.
That's right. Well, yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like a crazy concussion though. Like it's not like his head really bounced off the turf. It's not like he was like sleeping on the field. So
I hate to say this though, too. What is a crazy concussion?
I was gonna say, if you've watched more than enough professional fights, you can tell what the difference between a regular concussion and a crazy one is.
I mean,
no, they are not built all the same.
I get what he's saying, but like,
well, you never know how long it's going to take anyone for any kind of concussion. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's the difference between getting hit by between a 22 caliber and a 50 caliber. That's an obvious difference. A concussion's internal, man. You can't tell how it reacted. Like, and like Brisker,
you can see a lot of signs from it.
Let me sum this up the easiest way. With the Brisker concussion last year, no one even knew he had a concussion until they were getting ready to get on an airplane to go to London, and then we all found out he had a concussion. He put that hit on that guy, right, in the Titans game, played the rest of the game perfectly okay, and then 2 days later we found out, oh, by the way, Brisker's got a concussion, and now he's out the rest of the season is what happened. So, I mean, in Brisker's case, we couldn't even tell there was a concussion. You had no idea there was a concussion. So, I mean, all I'm saying with concussion protocol, and I mean, it's funny that dude, we've all gone through this enough. We know that it could be a week or it could be, who knows? I mean, the way they all react is different. So all I'm trying to say here is that, I wouldn't bet on Love being back. The concussion diagnosis happened Saturday. There's a protocol for when they start testing, and it's not less than 48 hours after.
It'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday. They go through the test.
So let's see if he passes the protocol. But I mean, I wouldn't bet the farm on it. I think, look at, like you said, he hasn't had a lot of history with it. Hopefully it's a minor one that, he didn't get beat up too bad with it, and he's good to go, you guys, Saturday. But I would just, I'd be worried about what's the status of Malik Willis as well. Good morning, Peter. And who's your third quarterback going to be? And I think if you guys don't have a third quarterback on the roster, you might want to have one so Josh Jacobs isn't quarterback 3, because it's not like Josh Jacobs is an epitome of health right now.
Yeah, there's a few others I'd rather see as the emergency quarterback than Josh Jacobs. Like, Reed actually played a bit of quarterback to Savion Williams. Now, granted, I don't want to go with that. I just feel a little more comfortable with them than Jacobs at quarterback. But I'm not worried too much about Love not making it through the concussion protocol, because he's generally seemed like he's a relatively-ish fast healer from the injuries we saw. And if he doesn't make it, well, we're going to have to deal with that like we dealt with it in the game.
It's not like it's, I get what you're saying. We're hosting a podcast, Peter. That's what we're doing. I would say this, though. Concussion's not like a muscle injury.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, yeah. I mean, factor,
it plays a part.
I hope, for Packers' sake, let's hope he's back. For the Lions' sake, Fred, I get what you're saying in your comment there. And as a Bears fan who has a very negative fan base, the Bears have a very negative fan base in general terms. Trust me, man, the clickbait gets ridiculous with all the crazy, how do I fix this team to become a Super Bowl champion in 2.2 seconds? And none of them want to hear the truth. There's no way you can take your team that just missed the playoffs or went out in the first round of the playoffs, and all of a sudden, boom, I fixed it. Doesn't work that way. Ask Green Bay how that worked out with Micah Parsons. They thought they fixed it with just one guy, but the problem is he's just one guy. It's a team sport. And then if the one guy gets hurt, guess what? You didn't fix it. So you just get used to it. You're going to see tons of clickbait, just like when we saw when Hendon Hooker should be the quarterback and not Jared Goff. Whatever. Just this is what you do to about 99.9% of it. I mean, we're already seeing. We saw yesterday's clickbait was Booker suspended for 3 games. No, he's not. No, he's not. Just leave the clickbait alone. Go ahead, Bros. Daniel. You had something. And good morning, Joe. Joseph,
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I think it's fair to say on the surface, it really didn't seem like a terrible concussion, but also I think it's also fair to say just because he was in a walkthrough or in a meeting on Monday that he's going to be good to go. So you got to let it play out. That's all.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just saying it looks like he's going to be good to go.
And actually, you know what? Though, here's the other thing too that's weird that we need to take into account. Obviously, the protocol got looked at after that hit with Booker, right? That's not to say he wasn't already concussed before that play. He could have been concussed on any given hit where his head may have hit the ground, which there were a few. It's just that they tend to look after a hit like that. So that's the other thing. We're assuming that hit concussed him. He may have already been concussed or partially concussed, I guess, if you could be. But, like where he got his bell rung but didn't really say anything and kept playing. I mean, not like players haven't done that before. That's the thing. We're always making the assumption that the hit we think is the hit that caused concussion is what causes a concussion. No, it could have been something else. It could have been another hit earlier in the game where his head hit the turf. It could have been another hit he took. And they just didn't look at those hits because he seems okay. But they always tend to look at the quarterback specifically after a hit like that is when they say, oh, wait, we want to look at you. And then all of a sudden, they're concussed. And I mean, it could very well have been the hit that concussed them. I'm just saying we also have to keep in mind that these guys take a lot of hits in the games. And I bet there are a lot of guys that play a lot of downs concussed and no one ever notices.
Yeah, I was going to say too, like 3 things I was going to take out of the game as far as like positives or pluses for the Packers that I wasn't really expecting. So one is Emmanuel Wilson's a good running back, man. He's a tough runner, man. He's got some talent. He's good. Malik Willis threw the ball much better than I thought he would have. And then the Packers linebackers, they really tackled very well.
Mm-hmm.
I was not surprised about Malik Willis or their defense because I figured they would adjust to there not being a Micah Parsons.
You pretty much said the defense was going to fall off a cliff once Parsons got injured. I said
pass rush wouldn't be as good, and it wasn't.
You said the defense as a whole.
Well, there would be a drop off, and there was a drop off, not significant drop off, but there was a drop off. And also, you got to remember some of it's pre-game banter. But I mean, also though, look at they tackled very well. They stepped up. They did what Detroit said. I said this last week. They could do. I said they could do what Detroit did when they lost Hutch and step up like they did against the Vikings. The Packers defense did it. They tackled probably. That was the best tackling I've seen out of a Packer defense in probably a couple years.
I was going to say that's how they've been tackling all year long. They've been
it is. I've watched a lot of Packer games.
Yeah, it is because I've watched a lot of Packer games. And
once again, a Bears fan can't say anything about the Packers without being 100% proof wrong.
When the broadcasters are saying, yes, I know when the broadcasters sit there and say it, that's just completely irrelevant. We'll throw it out because the Bears fans think differently.
They had their best tackling game of the season against the Bears. They nary missed a tackle. And I've watched a couple Packer games this year because I watch every game I can, especially when we don't play at the same time. The Packers did not tackle this good in any other game of the year. This was their best tackling game of the year, and that's credit to them. So you can't even give a Packers credit without them. Oh no, you're wrong. You can't give me credit.
We can't give Packers credit without getting all over them first.
Jesus. Packer fans, Joe's laughing. He's like, dude, He's giving you a W. Take the W.
I don't think that's why he's laughing.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to give you a.
No, actually, I was laughing because it's like here goes the Bear and the Packer fan. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's
can't
it's
even
like
give him a
it's like the
compliment,
Odd Couple, dude. To the moon,
Joe,
Alice.
You can't even compliment the Packer fans without them telling you you're wrong for complimenting them. So this was probably the best I've seen the Packers tackle all. Yeah, Fred, exactly. This is the best I saw the Packers tackle all year.
There you go. He can't argue with that statement. That's the best you've seen the Packers tackle all year.
He did. He just did.
Statement you just made. No, because it's different. The statement you just made and the statement before, you said that was the best the Packers tackled all season. Like that's an objective fact, right? When you said I've seen the Packers tackle all season. That's why I said, oh yeah, you can't argue with that one because how's he going to tell you what's the best you've seen all season?
Yeah,
there you go.
But
I mean, this is probably objectively the best they tackled all year, and they stepped up and they played well. And Ken can oh my God, no, it's not true. It's fucking true.
Oh,
your defense.
And I know opinions are facts now.
Jesus, you can't.
And he's going to circle back to the running back.
I've never seen somebody smile with a backhand compliment.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on, broski, 1 second. How's it a backhand compliment? I didn't say that you've tackled like trash all year. I simply said this was the best they tackled all year. That doesn't mean that you tackled like dog shit the rest of the year. It could mean that you're a top 5 tackling team that just tackled out the wazoo this weekend, and where you maybe were a top 5 team, you were actually the best team this week. That doesn't imply that you're a terrible tackling team. It says that this was the best game they've had this year in terms of tackles.
I would say that the tackling in this game was exactly on par with the Detroit games. They sat there and didn't miss shit in either one of those. And they held Gibbs, who's been having a monster season, to shit.
Yeah, but you didn't hold the Bears running backs to shit. They hit their averages at 5+ yards a carry.
Yeah,
so
but
you didn't do that.
Yeah, they didn't blow us out of the water, which is what you pretty much have to expect going against the Bears running attack.
Yeah, and that's why I specifically said linebackers, if you noticed, because there were some that, like obviously Monanga's truck sticking a couple cornerbacks or safeties, which he did, but like that really didn't happen till the second half. But overall, like the linebackers really tackled well for the Packers for sure.
Dude, they stepped up. They're the reason that defense was as good as it was without Micah. I mean, there was a drop off. The pressures weren't as frequent and often. Now their linebackers did another thing that was really good. They kept Caleb boxed into the pocket versus letting him escape. That's another thing their linebackers did really well. Their linebackers probably, and I will say subjectively speaking, from what I've seen this year, so don't be offended, Ken, when I give them props, like you were offended I gave them props earlier. They probably played the best game of their year, and they had to because you dropped Micah off the roster, so to speak, due to the injury, so you had to make up for it. And I think they did a pretty darn good job of making it so that his missing wasn't felt nearly as much. It was felt because I mean, look at the pressures on Caleb weren't nearly as bad as they were 2 weeks ago. The question is going to be as you go, this week with Baltimore, then the Vikings should be a wash now. The way the Vikings injuries and everything else is gone, especially their defense has some Grenard's out, etc. Once we play again in the division, in the not division, the wild card round, how are they still holding up a couple weeks later? And the good thing about this game too is I don't think either team put too much on tape in terms of their playoff plan. Both had a pretty relatively good idea. Hey, we got really good odds of making the playoffs. We'll just win this game. Stay, not put it all out there. So that's going to be interesting to see what Hafley's got up his sleeve, Allen's got up his sleeve, what Ben and LaFleur have up their sleeves. But I want to see how they hold up, how that linebacking core looks, come the playoff game versus how they just, which is
that's vaguely what I'm worried about a bit. is if LaFleur had to dig into his bag a little more with it being Willis playing that game and had to use a couple of plays that he would have rather have used for the playoffs with Love instead, hey, we got to use a little bit of this magic now.
But I think, though, by using Malik, you kind of mask it a little bit because when people, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You've used the play from the playbook, so now it's out there. But realistically speaking, when they're game planning for Love, they're not looking at what Malik Willis did play-wise. The form, you know what I'm saying? They're not that. I mean, they're going to note, okay, this formation was this kind of play, blah, 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 but it was Malik. But there's the annotation with Malik Willis as quarterback, not Jordan Love. So you might be able to get away with it at least one time with Jordan Love before they go, oh, okay, that was this. Okay. You might be able to get away with that a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, look at it. I guess here's the question. At this point, you're all but assured to get in. I mean, you have to win one game or Detroit has to lose a game. And Detroit, they got the Vikings this week. So, okay, they might win this week. And then they get the Bears in week 18, who may or may not be motivated to play that game. I don't know. I would say they're going to be motivated because looking at Ben Johnson, you really see Ben Johnson as being the type of guy like, we'll take a week off. No, I don't see that. But I mean,
he's a good coach. He might, you know what I mean? Like if it's really a matter of, put it this way, if the Seahawks win this week, if they beat the Panthers,
yeah,
the Bears win this week, right, and beat the 49ers, then literally the Bears have literally 0 to play for the last week because they can't. They're locked into the 2 seed. Right. They can't get the 1 seed. They can't fall back to the 3 seed. So
yeah, I mean, they'll play, but then we'll just see what camp Ben Johnson's in when it comes to that because we don't know yet, right? Is he in the rest of them or play him camp? We'll find out.
No, what's going to happen is he's going to rest your starters, except at the end of the game, him and Dan Campbell are going to meet at the graphic logo at the 50-yard line, and they're going to have the boxing match to settle their dispute.
Well, then they better get the stretcher for Gamble. Hey, Gamble's got a little bit of a gut there, man. Ben's a little ripped if you saw from the video.
No, but he's also twice the size of him.
That would be funny if they put an octagon up in the yeah. But I mean,
I was going to say that'd be like me saying LaFleur could kick Ben Johnson's ass. I don't see that happening.
But that would be fun to watch too. But I mean, when it comes to in terms of the Packers, like if you guys can beat the Ravens, or if the Lions somehow, if the Vikings come and play spoiler, and the thing is, you guys are Saturday. When the Lions are on Sunday. So unfortunately for you, right? The Lions are on Sunday this week?
No, the Lions are on Christmas.
They have Christmas?
Yep.
Oh, well, that makes
sense. They're the night game for Christmas.
Are they night game? Okay. So look, if the Lions lose on Christmas, I think that changes your game plan a little bit come Sunday. I mean, there's still hope to catch the Bears, so to speak. But I mean, honestly, they'll play hard because they'd rather be 2 than 7 because you want the home game versus come to Chicago. So that argument may go away, but week 18 you might not do anything if you're locked into the 7 seed, unless somehow you can catch up to San Fran. But I don't think you can now after that win last time, right? San Fran's pretty much the worst they can do is the 6th seed, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, can I go ahead and throw this out there? Yeah. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks this. So I'll start with the disclaimer. LaFleur is an excellent football coach. So I'm not saying anything about the Packers, but LaFleur looks a little bit low T to me, dude.
I wouldn't argue that at all.
He looks like the kind of guy that has a Darcy chair in his bedroom somewhere.
I'm gonna hope not.
I'm just saying.
Well, Joe, he's always rocking that fresh fade for every game. You know what I'm saying? A little metro-ish.
Yeah.
When did the fade become metro?
Give that to you.
When did the fade become metro?
Because I became metro. Like
it became metro when you got it done every week.
Yeah, when you have the hard part too, man.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know what I'm saying? It's just all iced up, man. Like he's all, shiny out there. I don't know how else to say it.
When
He
I
kind of
when I
is, though.
did have hair when I was like 18, 21, like we all me and my homeboys ran the fade, dude. We all ran
So
it. That
did
was
I.
So what
that
we're
was the
saying is Matt LaFleur is metrosexual, a term that we have not heard really for about a decade. Wow.
yeah. He
Okay.
looks
like
like
that?
he looks like when they're at the fancy hotels, he gets mani pedis. That's what he looks like.
Well,
I would almost
that,
guarantee it, unfortunately.
I mean, fade it's nice to get a fresh fade. You know what I mean? Especially when you're
Yeah,
younger. But I'm saying, like,
yeah.
just the way the overall, I think, thing, it
Well,
just
that's because
plays
he's
into
got
the
to make sure that his
overall.
picture.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean Broski. It's because when he's traveling, especially, he's got to make sure his grinder picture matches.
Oh,
I wouldn't talk about grinder pictures when you got Caleb and Ben Johnson sitting there getting naked in the locker room together.
Well, it's a locker room, Ken. That's what usually happens.
Oh, I took my shirt off for you, buddy. Really?
Yeah, Ken. You know what happened to when Ben Johnson took the shirt off, right?
Yeah,
He
Caleb
got
took out the
hot
titty
dogs
oil.
at Wiener Circle, so there was a reason for that. Yeah.
Oh man.
I bet there was a wiener circle, all right.
Yeah, well, they call it gay bait for a reason.
Oh.
Anywho, the playoff picture's getting interesting. I mean, it's somewhat locked up and somewhat interesting, right? Because now we're looking at some position jockeying. I think the Colts are done after last night. They're
Yeah.
officially done. You
Yeah,
gotta give Rivers some credit, though, man. Rivers, dude can still ball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder does Rivers go back into retirement, or does this make him go? You know what? Maybe I could do this for a whole season.
Dude, Ken, that's a good point. He might just be like, all right, time to go on a diet and actually get back in shape this offseason. And he might come back and play another year and Flacco out, man.
Well, think about it. Daniel Jones is going to be out next year. Like,
Or at least half
so
the year.
yeah, at least half the year. So I think there's an opening if he wants it. I mean, I think he's acquitted himself well. If he goes in and tells the coach, hey, look, dude, let me get into off season, use this off season to get into shape. I think I could do even better next year. Like why not?
He hasn't looked bad. He's made some really nice throws. I mean, the interception was, I think that last interception was more on his receiver than it was him, because it's that classic case of you're supposed to go left, the ball went left, but wait, you went right. And then Brock Bowers telegraphing, the ball's coming to me, probably didn't help either. I'm wondering if
Joe, I was going to say, leafy greens, lean protein, and squat thrust, bro. There you go, Phil. Get it done.
I mean,
lots of kale.
Would anyone be shocked if Philip Rivers says, you know what, I'm coming back for next year?
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't expect it either. I think this was more just, hey, you're in a real shitty situation. I liked my time there. I'll come help you out for the last couple of games. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
I mean, I'm kind of with you, Ken. That was my initial thought too. And I was like, why go back to Philip Rivers when you had guys who just retired last year, like Derek Carr, who were available, right? And I don't know, maybe they reach out to Derek Carr, and Derek Carr said, no, man, I'm too busy hanging out with the Barstool sports guys and my boy Gruden. But I mean, it makes you wonder, because he's playing really well. And it's like he's taking some hits, and it doesn't look like it affects him. He's just like, I mean, look, if he goes back to coach high school, he's a legend, right? Anyways, I mean, to his students, I mean, if he wasn't God already, now he really is God. And look, let's be honest. Most of his kids he's coaching were in like 5th grade when he retired, right? So like they don't have the concept of really who Philip Rivers, the NFL quarterback, was. They just knew him as coach. Now they're seeing him play these games, and they're like, well, coach, it's freaking badass. Right?
I think there's a couple of things. No, go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
I think there's a couple of things that people are not really thinking about. Realistic, practical things, right? Philip Rivers has like 11 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, now take it from somebody who's a stay-at-home dad to 3 kids. He has 11 kids. That dude wants out of the house once in a while, bro. Trust me. Like I could see him coming back just to say, hey, like, I missed the training camp grind, like, and you don't have 11 kids running around the house driving you nuts, like, bro, I'm telling you, number one, number two, Philip, number two, Philip Rivers never won a Super Bowl, and no matter how satisfied he is with his career, being a Hall of Fame candidate and probably a lock to get in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, at least numbers wise, he should be a lock. I think he feels like I never got that one thing that every quarterback wants, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him come try to take one more bite at the apple. Especially
Well said, Joe. Well said.
When you look at what Indianapolis did this year, like they started off the season so hot, and then all of a sudden, it's like I can't even pinpoint it because they started losing before Daniel Jones went down. Right? The streak started before Daniel Jones went down.
Yeah, because they started taking some injuries, and then they've kind of fallen. It's interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Daniel Jones was playing through an injury, and then he just got hurt even more. Yeah,
he was. He was playing through an injury. He was playing through a broken leg. He has played through a broken leg,
dude got
and then because he was overcompensating with the other leg, he ruptured the Achilles. Let that be a lesson. If you have an injury, take the seat, because he took the injury, didn't take the seat, and it led to an even worse injury.
Yeah, but how many guys have made their entire legacy of playing through one of these games where they're massively hurt and all it does is add to their legend?
It was a calculated risk on his part. It was okay for him for a couple games, and then it bit him. But I mean,
I could tell you one for sure. Terrell Owens, in my opinion, he's the one who made his career on that Super Bowl performance with a titanium plate in his fibula, or his leg, holding his fibula together, and he still had 11 catches for 135 yards. Like,
Vinny is still crying about Austin Booker.
Joe, I could actually argue that Terrell Owens should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl, even though they lost.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, up to that point, to me, Terrell Owens was always that dude who cried when he caught the ball against Green Bay. But at that point, that's when I was like, oh, okay, no, this dude is a legit baller. Like, he's tough too, because
and the dude's he was always a physical freak of nature. Like, I think that dude could probably come back now physically.
Yeah, maybe.
Physically, he
probably still runs a 4.5.
Yeah, the speed might not be as good as it was, but physically, like, he was always just a freak.
Yeah, but he probably still runs a 4.5 at like 50 years old, 55. Yeah. Like, how old is he now? He's got to be 50.
He's close to 50. He's got to be. No, maybe not.
Upper 40s, I would say.
Yeah. But I mean, he was. There are guys like that. I mean, Brett Favre was the same way. Played through injury. Cutler played through injury. Romo played through injury. I think so now. Like,
T.O.'s big. No, I was going to say T.O.'s big thing at the end of his career was the dropsies. Like, it really just seemed like his hand-eye coordination was like kind of deteriorating. That was like the only physical aspect of his that was really noticeably getting worse.
And we're so hyper acute to these guys' physical injuries now, especially with quarterbacks. I don't know if we'll get players like that again. Owens is 52. There we go. There is he. Owens
is he? Okay.
He's 1 year younger than me. Jeez. It's crazy.
Man, you are an old Billy Goat. Holy shit.
I was giving it up. A pair of sandals and a walking stick was what they issued me in the Army.
I was gonna say, do I have to get there one day?
Good morning,
I mean, unless you want to Jimi Hendrix it, no. Like,
hey, Jimi Hendrix in it sounds fun.
And Ricky Jimmy the Rocket. You know what I mean? Where's Jimmy now? That's all I'm saying.
He's in the land of the immortals.
So some interesting games this weekend. I mean, you've got obviously, the Packers-Ravens is huge for both teams. I would say the implications of the Packer-Ravens game is deeper than the implications of the Bears-49ers. The Bears 49ers, they're both in, right? So on one part, like we're in the dance. But for Green Bay and Baltimore, both need a win to get in the dance still. Now Green Bay might not. That's the thing that might change. If Detroit loses on Christmas and gives Green Bay the best present of the year, a playoff berth, then the game is a little less tension filled for the Packers because, like, look, we're in. Now it's just, are we 2 or are we 7? Right? That's the thing. But at least the pressure of getting in is gone. Right? That's the big piece. Whether we realize it or not. But
Yep.
the fact that they know that they're in.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
Baltimore, though.
Yeah, man, that's how I look at it. The Bears play tight against the Packers, like they did. Like they for good reason, and they had to get that whatever you call it, monkey off their back or whatever the hell you want to call it. They did, and then also clinching that playoff berth. Like, bam, like, dude, you really got past 2 huge hurdles with that game. Right. 49ers, really solid team, man. Really solid organization, playing well right now. But I think the Bears are going to play a lot more loose this week.
But like they're still in it for a division, and like for them, it's a little different. They're trying to get the bye week, whereas the Bears, I don't think it's mathematically even possible for us to get the bye week. I think it might be mathematically possible, but the odds are
they can.
But then again, the odds are like less than 3% that we'd win last week in the fourth at the end of with 2 minutes left in the game, and yet we did. So anything's possible, as we've learned.
Yeah,
watching.
I mean, first team since 1990 to start 0-2 and make the playoffs. I think, or 12% chance or something like that. But
what did the Texans start off this year?
Terrible.
Did they start like 0-2 or 0-3?
I'd have to go back and check.
I think they started off like 2-6.
No, I'm talking about the first 2 or 3 games.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like they started off like the Texans started off like 2-6 through the first 8 games, and turned it around. Like that's even more impressive. Like because 0-2, you still got 15 games of a season left. I know that history is not on your side, but like you still have 15 games left in theory. Whereas if you're 2-6, you got 9 games left, and you got to win most of them. And the Texans did. Like. So
yeah, I was going to say the Bears need the Panthers to beat Seattle this week, and it's in Charlotte. And let's not forget, about a month ago, the Rams played in Charlotte and got their ass kicked.
Hey, Barry, so just for you, I just to make you happy, Barry, I beat Bill the Packer fan this week in fantasy football, so I've avenged your block. If you look at his comment, he said Bill blocked his comment.
That's weird.
It might not have been Bill, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say that had to have been a mistake or something.
Because Bill's very rarely on. Okay, they're 10-5. Let me see how they started. All right, they started 0-3 with losses to the Rams, the Bucks, and the Jags. They started 0-3. So even more impressive if you think about it. And now they have not clinched a playoff berth yet. That's why Broski was able to make the comment he made about the Bears being the first one since like 2000 or whatever it was to start 0-2. But they started 0-3. They are now 10-5. They have yet to clinch. However, I mean, they're in the 7th spot right now, and I don't see Indianapolis catching them. So, Indy loses the game, or Houston wins this week, it's over. So Houston's going to get in. The only thing that we need to figure out in the AFC is it Baltimore or is it Pittsburgh? And honestly, if Pittsburgh wins this week, it's over. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. But
I wanted to go back to what Broski was saying.
You're the Bears start at 0-2, and the Texans start 0-3, and both make the playoffs in the same year.
But go back, Broski. What were you saying about Seattle and Carolina, though?
Yeah. So what I was saying, the implications for the Bears are: so if the Bears can beat the 49ers, and if the Panthers can beat the Seahawks in Charlotte this weekend, then the Bears still have a shot at being the number 1 seed, and therefore the Bears' last game of the season against the Lions, that's what they would be playing for. They would be playing for the number 1 seed.
Yes.
But what I was saying about more specifically about the Seahawks, I mean, hey, the Rams, remember the Rams traveled to Charlotte right around about a month ago, right around Thanksgiving. And Stafford had his worst game of the season. Like he had 3 turnovers. They were roughing him up. So, flying cross country to play still does, even in this modern age, it does make it a little more difficult. And let's not forget, Sam Darnold's going back to where he once played. There's a lot of people around here getting up for that too. So
let's be honest. Let's throw another wrinkle in there, broski. It's a holiday week, so they're already going to be a little off kilter.
Yeah.
Look, they're not playing Christmas, but they're going to do Christmas with their family in the middle of the week. So yeah, they're still doing practices and meetings, but it's going to be. It's not the normal. It's going to be a little off.
You have the Panthers fans' Christmas wish, right? And which sometimes, dude, like look at the Raiders a couple years ago when they went into Kansas City and knocked them off. Like, there's that.
So,
and Sam Darnold has had a couple of those pumpkin games this year, like where he threw 3 picks, like 4 picks. Like it's not impossible.
Hey, Joe, if you could force Stafford into 3 turnovers, and I think he has 5 INTs on the entire season. 2 INTs and 1 fumble just in that one game. Like you said, Darnold, he's prone to throwing his INTs and having his moments. That's for sure. So yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, and the Panthers have something to play for as well.
Yeah.
They win the division. So there you go.
Yeah. I think that Bears-Niners game is going to be fireworks, dude. Like that game.
Panthers have beaten the Packers in Lambeau. They've beaten the Rams this year. They've beaten the Bucs. They've beaten some good teams.
I agree. But I think that Bears-Niners game is going to be fireworks because you got 2 teams who their whole thing is they like to run the ball, right? But Kittle last night looked really good, and especially for his age. It's going to be a battle of tight ends too, right? You got Colston Loveland and George Kittle. Like, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game.
For sure. Good matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that Carolina-Seattle game either.
Yeah, CMC's playing out of his mind. I don't know how he's doing it still. Honestly, guys.
According to Grok, so like we have the tie break on the Rams, and if we beat San Francisco, obviously we'd have the tie break on San Francisco. So I said, ask Grok if the Bears and Seahawks have the same record at the end of the season, who has the tie break? Obviously, there's no head-to-head. Win-loss tie or one-loss tied. Well, the percentage would be exactly the same. Obviously. Then it goes to strength of victory, combined record of beaten opponents, and then strength of schedule, and then combined rankings, blah, 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 blah. Grok is positing that the Bears actually have the tiebreaker with a better conference record, but right now they're both 7-3. So, and all our games are conference games. All their games are conference games, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's what I mean.
But they're 3-2 in the division. We're 2-3, but I don't think they look at the division. They're 6-1 on the road. We're 5-3. They're 6-2 at home. We're 6-1. The point differential, they're plus 164. We're plus 33. So I would think they would have us on that, but they don't do the point differential thing. So it's interesting who would own the tiebreak between Chicago and Seattle. According to Grok, it's the Bears, but I don't know how much I trust that when it says conference, and they're like, well, they'd have the same conference.
Well, no, but that's the thing. If the Bears win and the Seahawks lose, then the Bears have the better conference record. They have the same overall record. Therefore, the Bears would be the 1 seed. And then the last game of the year would actually mean something because the Bears literally would be playing for the 1 seed.
So that's the thing, I guess. You're right, Broski. Circling back. I completely forgot the limit. They have to lose a game. So if Seattle loses this week and the Bears win, the Bears are playing for the number 1 seed because they would control their own destiny with the number 1 for the number 1 seed. Because obviously they have a head-to-head against San Francisco. They already have the tiebreak against the Rams, and they would own the tiebreak against Seattle. And so that Seattle Rams game or Seattle Niners game, that would be now they're looking for division depending on what the Rams do this week. Because if the Rams win, and if Seattle loses and the Niners lose, well, now you've got a situation where the Rams win, then the Rams control their destiny to win the division and be the 2 seed. The Bears, right? No, well then, yeah, Seattle would still be playing. Wow, okay, it gets more complicated. So okay, going down the Broski track, Seattle loses to the Panthers, which the Panthers at that point pretty much almost lock up the division. If Seattle loses and the Bears win, that means the Niners lose. And let's say the Rams win. That means the Week 18 games would mean this: the Bears win and get the 1 seed. That would be the easy part. The harder part comes down between Seattle, San Francisco, and the Rams. Now, Seattle and the Rams play each other. The Rams are playing whoever. So there would still be 2 teams at that point tied with 13 wins. If the Rams were to win Week 18 in Seattle. So they're be playing for that number 2 seed in division champion. That's crazy. That's a 3-team race. It could be a 3-team race on Week 18 for division champion.
Yeah, and like we said earlier in the show, if the Bears are locked into that 2 seed, I think Ben Johnson rests starters the last game. If they're playing for the 1 seed, I think balls are out, man. It's teabag city, bro. They're trying to, you know what I mean? Ben Johnson's coming
Fred,
out he's not resting any starters. They're going for it, man.
I know
Fred, that's a good question because I was going to ask that question too. Like, of the Bears fans, do you guys really want the 1 seed?
So yeah, I was about to get into that, and I was going to say, like, as fans always say, well, there's a split camp, right? And I don't know if it's 50-50, but there's obviously people out there who say I'd rather be playing and not take the seed because it loses momentum, right? By taking that bye week, you lose momentum. And look, we've seen enough times in history. Look at last year. The Lions were the 1 seed. They get the week off. They come back at that home game against Washington. They look flat. They're not as hot as they were at the end of the year, whereas Washington's still riding high, and they lose to Washington at home. But then we look at other cases with the 1 seed goes on to win the Super Bowl with taking the bye week, and it doesn't affect them at all. It just depends on how selective your memory is. You know what? Let me let's grok this. I want to see what the winning percentages are for teams that take
And Joe, for me, I totally get to keep the momentum going, and I'm going to relate this to something else for the Bears specifically, though. Like how the Bears had that early bye week this year, I really felt going into the season, it was great that they did because, young quarterback, first year head coach, new offense, all that good stuff. It really helped them like reset, catch up, and get lined up for the rest of the year. I kind of think the same way. If they can get the 1 seed, I think this will be like very beneficial to them for the same kind of reasoning, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I would just offer a little pushback in the sense that when you guys got that early bye, you were like barely at 500, or you were like you had started 0-2, and then what week did you get the bye? It was like week 5 or 6. So but there's different circumstances there. Like that bye helped you guys to like lock it in. But now, if you get the number 1 seed, you'd be coming off 4 straight wins and going into a bye. So for me, and again, like I understand your reasoning, and Ken's right. Just as many teams that have been 1 seeds, if not more, went on to win the game. But to me, that loss of momentum thing is a real thing. I've seen it happen enough times, and I wouldn't want that to happen to the Bears. When you've been playing so well.
What the Packers like to do living
That's
in
a
the
legit
past.
point, Joe.
Hold on. So I'm going to be a Packer fan and live in the past, in the history. According to Grok, the vast majority of bye teams have a winning percentages after taking the bye. The lowest win, and then they break it down like whether you're 11-5 or 12, so 12-5. If you're 12-5 in a 17-game format, the winning percentage of the bye teams, 70%. 70% win if they were in the bye. But if you're like the lowest winning percentage for a bye team is 68% if you were 11-5, and that's in the old format. Um, it's interesting. So basically, you on average, bye teams have a regular season winning percentage. Okay, let me re-ask the question. Continue on. I'm going to re-ask the question.
But if that's correct, Broski, that means that's not 0. That's 1 out of 3. You know, like I I don't like those odds. You know, like it's not a sure enough thing for me. But
I
again,
mean,
I'm you know
I kind of
I'm a
misplaced what
cautious
Ken
kind of
just
guy
said.
in some ways, and so for me, I would rather see the Bears keep playing because you're hot right now, and but I think it could also well, it wouldn't depend because the Bears have to win out and get some help in order to get the number 1 seed, right?
Correct.
So,
And I didn't catch those odds. Sorry, I got sidetracked here on my end.
yeah, I'm using
What
Grok
could
68. He said that it's 68%. It's 70% for a 12-5 team. In a 17 game schedule, it's 70% of the bye teams win, but that's
here's a
still
question.
1 out of 3.
I said, what are the winning percentages in the divisional round for teams that have the first round bye in the NFL?
okay?
The answer is this: teams with the first round bye in the NFL playoffs, currently the number 1 seed in each conference, blah blah blah, have historically performed strongly in the divisional round. Historical data shows these teams win their divisional round game approximately 74 to 75%
There
of
you
the
go.
time. From
Yeah.
1990 to 2011, under that format, it was 74%. As a 2024 analysis of number 1 seeds with buys since 1978 reported 70 out of 94 wins, equating to a 74.5% win rate. More recent data, 1990 and onward, including both buy formats, confirms buy teams 91-31 straight up about 74.6%. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the data is clear. You want the buy.
I'll take the 1
All this
seed in
other
the
stuff
bye.
is fan arguments. So someone could make themselves feel smart, like, well, we should have taken goodbye and rested our players and got our people healthy. No, the statistical data shows you win 75% of the games.
Yeah, and look at the Bears specifically. It's like, hey, Rome's foot, Luther Bird's ankle. All these other guys that have some like lingering injuries that they're playing through. Um, and it's just a time to reset, recharge. And I think, honestly, for this particular team, that would be highly beneficial to catch another break like that. And who knows, Ken? Like we know, Ben Johnson's been layering in plays as the season goes along. Like he's been adding to the playbook, implementing stuff, as he's been going along. Maybe it gives him time to add a couple more pieces of his playbook to the puzzle too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, the
you
buy.
make a strong point, dude.
That's why I understand. Like Fred Berry, I don't want the 1 seed. We just showed you why you do. You have a 75% chance of winning your game if you have the buy.
I
25% if
I
you
can
don't.
tell you why, Ken, because all of us that are saying that I'm not sure if I'd want to buy, we all remember those games where the number 1 seed got knocked off, and you don't want
So,
to be that team, right? Like you don't want to be the
but
one that won the whole conference and then turn around and lose in the first round of the playoffs. Like it's a bad look, right? That and you're absolutely right. Like statistically, we're in the wrong, but it's that confirmation bias, or it's that bias that we have, like that fear of embarrassment, right? Like you don't want to be that team, and I just you know I even said it. I even just said that like before. I said I don't want to see the Bears be that team. Like you heard me say that, right? Like because I feel like kind of like I'm rooting for the Bears in this one, like
so,
because I love the whole turnaround that they pulled in 1 year. I think it's impressive, and you know,
so here's the funny thing. So I asked how many number 1 seeds get to the Super Bowl, right? The answer is says approximately 50 to 53% of number 1 seeds advance to the Super Bowl. This means out of the total number 1 seeds, about 100 across both conferences through the 2024 season, roughly 50 to 53 have reached the Super Bowl. From 1990 onward, the 12-team playoff format per conference until 2019, 14 in 2020. So the 32 and 33 Wow. So it's not really number one seeds have met in the Super Bowl 14 times. The last one being in 2023, the Chiefs and Eagles. So about half the number one seed to get the Super Bowl win it. 26 Super Bowls have been won by a number one seed.
Mhm. I
So
will
I
say
mean,
that
it's
there's
interesting.
one big difference this season though. Like a lot of the seasons, you have like your lowest team in the playoffs has like 9 or 10 wins, right? But it's especially in the NFC, like you have 3 or 4 like potentially 12 or 13 win teams. Like you have 5 and 6 seeds that have 12 wins. Like
Look,
this
if
is
Green Bay gets
there's
in,
yeah,
they're
there's
probably getting at least 10 wins, right?
which
They're gonna have
that's yeah, but the 5 and the 6 seed are going to have like 12 wins. They just didn't win their division, right? So
yeah.
that also plays into it. Like you have a lot of really good you have really good teams that are wild card teams this year, It's like nobody's really limping in.
Look at your worst case scenario. If the Niners and the Rams lose out, they have 11 wins, right? If they lose out,
Yeah,
right now they currently have 11 wins. In the top 7, the worst record is Carolina at 8-7, and if they win out, the best they can be is 10-7, which 10-7 being the Packers could be well the Packers would be 9-5 be let's say the Packers go in at 9-7-1. That would be the worst record to get in because if Detroit loses, they get in, right? I mean, it's crazy if you think about it. I mean, conversely, you go to the
yeah,
AFC. Right now, though, look at the 7th seed in the AFC has got 10 wins right now. Pittsburgh at 9 wins is the worst team, and really, if Baltimore loses, Pittsburgh doesn't need to win another game, and they're in with 9 wins. So you do get the outliers. But both conferences, you're talking 11 wins to get in, basically, for the most part, unless you're in a crappy division. They're all good teams. And in a league where 70% of your games are one-score games, who gets the lucky bounce that day?
And this is
yeah.
why
And
I
what
was
better
saying
reason?
go ahead.
I was going to say, what better reason to want to be at home if you're the Bears and playing in some weather? Hey, Los Angeles. Hey, San Francisco. Why don't you play in January in Chicago? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I think that's what they want.
And
Makes
actually,
sense.
in a weird way, if you're Seattle, I think you'd rather be the away team because you're better on the road the last 2 years than you are at home.
Mhm.
Strength on
But
strength.
when you look at it, also it means there really aren't going to be any easy wild card games either. Like like that's why I was saying like I might.
Well, yeah,
Well,
I mean, I don't know. You could say whoever draws Pittsburgh or Carolina would be the easiest technically, probably of those games. But yeah, I agree with you. Those aren't easy games. But people will look at the records and go, well, they're only a 10-win team playing a 13-win team. I mean, come on, Vegas trends. That's what But yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
yeah, I just feel like this is a kind of an outlier of a season where even the wild card teams are top of the top shelf. Like they're
It
up
depends
there.
on Joy, because we have about a half minute left. I think part of it might be the bigger piece will be: are you limping in with a ton of injury list that's growing, or are you getting healthy?
Mhm.
Like that's another big piece that we can discuss tomorrow morning show. Because like with Green Bay, are they going to be getting healthy enough, or are they limping in with crutches and band-aids? Like is Pittsburgh, if they get in, are they healthy, or are they limping in? Like what, or who's slumping? That's the bigger piece, I think, though, too. To look at this, they're all going to be strong games, but who started out strong and then just held on to get in versus who's been steady state versus who's hot.
Mhm.
3 things to consider, guys, for tomorrow morning. Broski, Joe, Ken, thank you all. Thank you, everyone in the comments. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for our Christmas Eve edition. We will be taking Christmas morning off. Everyone, enjoy your Tuesday and those holiday schedules for your kids who are in school. Have fun with them at home all day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great one.
See you guys.